Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Judi and you are watching Running Sew and Sew, and today I'm coming to you with an exciting vlog. It's a really special, fun collaboration. I reached out to Becky, who is next from the sewing room, and suggested that as we were both going to the same sewing social, wouldn't it be fun if we both made the same garment and sort of did a little bit of filming of each other making it and took some pictures at the end and had a little mini fun collaboration on a day's sewing. And that's what we're doing. Now I thought of one pattern. I thought of the Montevilla dress by Sew House 7, but Becky said Sagebrush top by Friday Pattern Company. And guess what? I've always wanted to make the Sagebrush top by Friday Pattern Company, and I've had this in my pattern stash for a long time. So I was looking for fabric to make this with, and the beautiful, in fact it is just here, let me show you. Pause. I found in my stash this. I can't really open it up much because it's being cut out. This is a double gauze gingham. It is the Atelier Brunette maple gingham, and it is two-sided. Let me show you. I can't even get my hands around it. Look at that. So how's that for pattern matching? Oh my gosh. And I saw it and I thought, oh, I want to make the sagebrush top with that. But the only problem with the sagebrush top is that you only need 1.5 meters. I had 2.1 meters of this, and if you saw my Instagram post where I put it up and saying, I need to make something that takes 2.1 meters and 1.50 wide, 150 centimeters wide fabric, and I had it. So that is the pattern test, which I cannot show. I'm desperate to show you that. So the sagebrush top. Now the sagebrush top is very, very popular, and I believe it's a very easy to wear top. It has balloon sleeves, a lovely yoke, a gathered panel across the front, as you can see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photograph of those line drawings and just put them in here as I show you them. So yes, it's got a lovely sort of bound neck with ties on the back. So it has beautiful ties at the back, which is a very feminine way of closing the blouse. And I suspect it's going to have, I've not gone into the instructions yet, I've kept that little secret until I get into the pattern to cut it out. So it'll have a little slit opening at the back and a lovely little tie. Now, had I got more time, I was thinking, wouldn't it be lovely to open it up down the back and have a button flap closing and buttons down the back? I think that's what I'd love to do. I think the reason I like this pattern is that back in the 80s, I made a Vogue pattern, and it was one of these origamis, and it had pleats, vertical pleats down the front here, and this bit here was fully pleated. And you had to pleat the fabric and then cut the pattern pieces out. And I loved that blouse, but it had the bound neck that you've got here on the line drawings, the balloon sleeves and the bound cuff. So which fabric am I using? Well, if you've just seen my Friday Sews videos, which I filmed just before this and which went out a couple of days ago, I bought this beautiful heather gingham. Now, I'm going to be very naughty and not pre-wash it. I did say I was going to, but I just don't have time to do that because it's only arrived today. And it is a beautiful, beautiful colour, and I do have matching thread. So my first job now is to cut out the blouse. But what else can I tell you about the sagebrush top? The Friday Pattern Company have a really good size range, and they go from extra small all the way up to 7XL, and I love that. I don't know if that's part of their demographic to suit all sizes and to make the pattern accessible to all, but I love it. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you put a Friday Pattern Company pattern on you, you'll look great. So obviously it's got the finished bust sizes and the previous sizes. So like, for example, the bust on the extra small is 32 to 33 inches, with the full bust on finished size is 40 inches. So I'm going to have to decide whether I want. I'm probably going to go for a small at the top, because obviously when I had problems with the orchid dress, I gave myself too much at the top with the extra fullness, which I've then got to take out. But for example, if it goes right to the other end of the spectrum, the measurement given for the 7XL is 59 to 60 inches with a finished measurement with ease of 67. Now that allows this pattern to be purchased by anyone that's sewing, and that is precious to me. The fabrics that this pattern is aimed at is woven, and you've got to bear in mind this is a loose fitting top with big billowy sleeves, so you're going to need a little bit of structure. If you want something that's going to be soft and drapey afterwards, use your viscose, but it will sink. Something like the gingham that I've bought is going to have a little bit of structure, and it's going to fill those sleeves out, so you get that dramatic statement when you're wearing them. So, off we go. So I'm back at Izzo Sew. It's as busy as ever and as happy, and all we got is the lovely sewing chatter. Melanie's here. And Becky's just wandered off. I think Becky is through here at the coffee station and the fabric station. And there's always a lot of chatter at Izzo Sew out here. So today we've got pattern swap. Not pattern swap, clothes swap here today. We've got the pattern swap down here. And we've got the fabric shop swap here. We have the coffee station. Social, hello ladies, are you having a nice time?
We're having a lovely time.
How far have you come?
Oh, just not far.
I'm Lodgemore.
Yeah.
It is Sheffield area?
Yes.
Because we're from York.
Oh, really? Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Yeah, we're very lucky for it to be so.
Well, it's not far for us to come either, and it's well worth it. It's just about an hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
So it's lovely.
But we're both achieving, so we thought.
You're achieving coffee.
We're having a celebratory break.
So what have you achieved?
I've sorted out how to lay out my trouser pattern.
Excellent.
With nap. So the material is in the right direction, the patterns are in the right direction, and I have actually bought enough material to make the dress.
And Kath, what have you sorted out?
I'm revamping a vintage skirt from my mum's stash, which we found when we were clearing her house a year ago, and it's it's fraying a lot. So I've just overlocked all around my pieces, and I've never
Lovely.
overlocked before.
Ooh. So you have achieved.
I have achieved.
Wow. Right. I think I need to go back, because Becky and I over there, we're doing the same top, and we're both putting a vlog out.
Excellent. Right. Log on.
So Becky is off with your sagebrush. You've started before me.
I have started.
And you've been chatting. It's not fair.
Yeah, I've just got started, so whether I actually finish today or not is another matter.
Well, I think we're both on the same one there, aren't we?
But I've started nevertheless.
You've started.
So, yeah, we'll
I've got
see.
everything cut. I'm just threading up here. I've threaded up the bobbin, just going through that, and I will be doing my fabric test in a minute. I've done my stitch test, and the thread match is spot on. I love it. Update. I am sat with the lovely Alison again. Hi Alison. With her lovely little Elmer. She's just been looking for the 6mm mark on the foot. We can't take the foot off and replace it with another foot, so we're using the buttonhole foot. Melanie's still tacking her skirt. Becky, how are you getting on with the sagebrush?
Yeah, I'm getting on okay. I'm just working on the sleeves now, so I'm just going to gather those up and then hopefully go and get a sandwich.
Get a sandwich. Yeah, by which time I might catch you up, because I've decided to be a little bit fussy. And I love burritoing, and I know I can burrito with a back and front yoke. So I am going to have a go. I have the back yoke on, the front yoke on, the frill is on, and it is looking amazing. So this was my inspiration, with the gingham on the top here. So what I've done is I've done a yoke facing for both of them. I finished it off here. So sadly at the moment I could have done a better job here. I could have left this seam open, and I didn't. I don't want to open that up now, but that would be part of my learning process for the next time. So I'm going to sew round the neck, and then I'm not going to clip the curves straight away. I'm going to have a play to see if it would burrito, then undo and then sew, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm up to. So the result is that the burrito isn't going to work because obviously the amount of fabric it's got to go around is too thin, which is a bit of a shame. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go over to the iron and I'm going to fold at 1.5 centimetres on all of these, and I'm going to sew them down with top stitching because I think it'll give a much neater finish to the inside of. So a little quick update. Melanie is, she's finally used the Bonder Web and got her little bits
Lots
for
of
the...
learning to do.
She's doing a rainbow effect on a pinafore for Olivia, and she's had to do lots of thin strips onto the Bonder Web. I wonder if I can hold it, get it to zoom in there, Melanie. There we go, there's one of the bits of the rainbow down. So now she's got to cut that out. Over here on the gingham sagebrush, I think what Becky and I are both trying to do is to avoid binding the neckline. She's got her way of doing the neckline and I've got mine. And I've actually lined my yoke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch round. I know there's a little bit there that's exposed. I need to go back and just iron this little bit flat. I'm going to top stitch across the front here, all the way around. And you know, I'm in that kind of fussy mode. I might even French seam those sleeves in. Why not? So I'm going to zoom over to Becky. Look at this. She's very busily sewing away here. I'm not quite certain. Which bit are you doing there, Becky?
I'm actually doing the side seams of my top at the moment. So just got this one to do. I'm going to overlock it, do the other side and repeat the process, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to add on the skirt part.
I'm looking forward to that. And how are you doing your neck?
So rather than, I know your neckline looks very neat and tidy.
Yeah, well, it does at the moment because I've got that little bit there that's not right.
I think it looks perfect. So I think you're just being picky.
I am being picky.
My neckline, basically, I've overlocked it and then I'm going to turn it over twice and top stitch it, and then I'm going to finish off the back of the top just with a little kind of hook and iron button.
Yes.
So it's just a different way of doing it.
Well, I think I'm going to, as we say in school, magpie that idea, which is a polite way of saying steal it. And I think I'm going to go for a button, and I'm pretty certain I've got a button at home that will look fine on that. I might make a little tiny rouleau loop though.
Yeah.
I think that would look
Be
great.
nice.
Yeah. Right, so on we go. Let's see how the top stitching goes, and hopefully I won't have to undo anything else.
Cut out. So I'm using 1 inch elastic to go through the centre of the waistband.
Yep.
So I'm actually making a channel that's slightly bigger than my elastic, so
Absolutely.
that I've got enough room to feed the elastic.
Absolutely.
So fingers crossed it all works out okay. So I'm just double checking that I've got the channel.
So you've got the tape measure on as you go.
Yes.
Here we go then. Of the Izzo Sew Day is the afternoon tea we've just been called for, and you can see everybody's desperately trying to finish things. Becky, you're titivating.
Yes, I'm unpicking a little bit because I've managed to catch some of the stitching with the fabric. I've caught the fabric on this channel that I'm making for my elastic, which is...
It's nice that you're unpicking, not me this time. I've unpicked
it's very
enough.
annoying.
And I have French seamed it inside. I've got the most beautiful neckline. I'm really pleased with that. And I've top stitched it all the way around. Sleeves prepped and French seamed. They're ready to gather up the stitchings in. Melanie is busy doing a plique. She's the first time she's used Wonder Web. The only problem is we now have to prize her away to go and get some afternoon tea. So let's go and have a look through here. Through we go. Afternoon tea at Izzo Sew. And there's the tea. Now, a quick update here as to how we're doing. I am now about to French sleeve the sleeves. So I have got them in right way round, and I will just sew them the first time round and then put them on the second time round. Becky has just used this most amazing elastic. I'm just going to nick it from her bag. It's like a clear knicker elastic, and she's pulled it as she's sewn, and it's given the most amazing gathering effect. Obviously we will be linking to each other's vlogs. Do check this out because I filmed Becky doing this and it is brilliant. It's the best tip I've had for stop mine for now. I've got everything done apart from putting the elastic channel in here, bottom, and the fastening at the back. Becky is just rushing to get her elastic in, and I think we'll be finishing them off at home, won't we?
Yeah, I'll be finishing off at home. Yeah, I've done quite a lot. I'm quite pleased.
We've actually got, yeah, we have, because there's been a lot of talking and socialising too.
Yeah, there has been. Yeah.
So watch out for the finished products when we get home. So here we are back at home, finishing off my sagebrush top. Now I've just hemmed the bottom. Now I'm going to do the sleeves. Now I'm going to do the sleeves in a very, very strange way. But this is where I get impatient, and I'm going to see if I can show you exactly what it is that I do. So I have joined the elastic together in rings, and I really do not enjoy putting elastic in things. So what I do is I actually sew the hem down while I'm putting the elastic in, and the knack to this is, and I've got 2 goes to record this, folks, just in case it goes wrong. So I have not got any pins in. I have not got any tacking in. I'm going for this, and I'm going to increase the size of my stitch and make certain that my needle ends down. And I'm literally just going to sew the first bit of the elastic down, and it is caught inside the hem, as you can see just here. So I am literally just going to sew a little bit. Much quicker, believe me. I have done this for many, many years. This is nothing new. Hannah is here, and she will probably say, yes, I remember you doing that before and shouting at it.
Yes.
So, oh, that's the oven, Hannah. Would you mind just turning it round? It thinks it's stopped, but basically just keep it going. So now I've got this in, and the elastic obviously is here. So what happens is that the gathers form in the cuff as you're sewing it. So I'm just going to keep this going and show you. But at the end, you won't have to take your garment to the sewing machine to do the tiniest little seam, because you'll be doing it all at the same time. There we go, and now I'm pulling the elastic through, and you can see the gathers forming here behind. I have got a camera. I'm on the dining room table. I'm not even in the sewing room, because the sewing room is set up with everything else that I want to make all at the same time. There we go. And this seam has been ironed. I have ironed it up. And can you see how the elastic is pulling through really easily? And you're just gathering up there behind. None of that getting a safety pin out and feeding it through with a safety pin. Not needed. No. There we go. Well, the one thing I didn't tell you was that when I started, I put a little pin. Once I'd gone a little way, I put the pin in. Look at that. I'm going to come round with my hand underneath you. Sorry if the lighting's a bit dim in the dining room, but I just wanted to get on with this, because it's such a beautiful top. I want to see it finished. And look at that. It's a bit strange having to snip the ends off, because the big machine does it for me, but by doing these things manually very occasionally, it makes you really grateful for what you have. Now, I have chunky arms, so my sleeves are very loosely gathered, but can you see? Instantly done. Instantly gathered. All in one, no extra seams. That's that bit done. I'll turn you off, and I'm just going to do the other ones. I'm making a quick rouleau loop for the button, and I'd rather do this than to bind the neck. It's got to be very narrow, so I'm going to give myself slightly more than I think I need for this. across, so it should be easy enough to turn. I'm going to pop the button on, and the button needs to go quite a long way over so that it doesn't create a gaping. So I've got to think that where this bit here is going to land on the button. And I think it'll probably land about there. Over a bit more. So I'm actually just going to pin down the rouleau loop, and I'm going to take the camera away, but before I do I'm just going to show you. I've even got the button sewing on foot already. But sewing with these is quite tricky. In most buttons, the gap between the two, let me use a pin, the gap between the two holes here is a stitch width 4. But don't just go for it. Use your balance wheel and turn it down. And then turn it all the way so you make the second stitch. And I am right there. Now, my setting is no length and the width at 4. Now I'm confident. Again, always check. Don't just assume it's going to go, because you'll either snap your needle or you'll snap your button. And so here is my finished Sagebrush top. I'm just going to put a picture of myself wearing it just here down the side, and I will pop some more in. I am delighted with it. Absolutely delighted with it. It feels so comfortable. I love the fact that I have lined the yoke completely. So the burrito didn't work, but I simply did the yoke, and as I showed you, I turned the hem up on the inside, caught it down by hand, and then I've top stitched along it. Sideways on, I have French seamed the whole garment all the way down. So on the back, rather than having the tie, I've put in the large button, and I have again lined the yoke and sewn it down on the inside and top stitched it. I'm really pleased with the way that even this line here, look, it goes beautifully like that. The sleeves have gone in. I'll show you the garment inside as well in a minute. I'm really pleased. So the other thing I wanted to show you was on the inside. This is where I have done the yoke and caught it down. The only downside to the back is it didn't match up here, but it is on the inside, and that is me being ridiculously fussy. I opened up the seam there to pop in the rouleau loop. I French seamed in the sleeves, and as you can see, I've got just a little bit of the seam showing on the inside. I am so super pleased with the finished result. So there you go, that's the Sagebrush top little mini collaboration finished. I have thoroughly enjoyed making this top. It's been on my list to make, here we go again, for a very long time, and I'm so pleased that I have finally made one. I love balloon sleeves. They suit me because I've got chunky arms. You can alter the amount of elastic in them, and the gingham gives just that little bit of structure so that I can make them more dramatic. The frill, I was always a bit uncertain about it, looking at it thinking, I do like it, how would the frill sit on me? And as you can see, it's sitting beautifully on me here. I am sitting down, I'm in my living room. I just thought it's going to be easier. Hannah took some pictures of me earlier, and I put another one in here. And I put another one in here. She took some pictures of me just in this corner wearing the Sagebrush top. I hope you've enjoyed watching our collaboration as much as Becky and I have enjoyed doing it. It was such fun sitting down next to somebody and we were making the same garment, and we could compare notes as to what we were doing and how we were altering it. And as you will see, Becky's put a skirt onto her Sagebrush and created a sort of mini dress. And I absolutely love, there's a little bit in Becky's vlog where she was gathering the band for the bottom of the skirt, and it was fantastic. I have included it in my video, I think. But she'd got this clear elastic and she'd put that down and it instantly gathered. It's absolutely brilliant. And I have lined the yoke of my Sagebrush top because I really wanted a lovely smooth finish on the inside. And doing French seams on sleeves, it's something I've always wanted to try doing, and I'm doing it more and more often than I ever used to do. So thank you so much for watching. A lovely special thank you to Karen for the coffee. That was so kind of you. It was a lovely surprise to wake up to on Saturday. So thank you again for that. Also, thank you again for all your lovely comments and for the time you take watching my vlogs. It is so much appreciated. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, give me a like. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe and join me on my journey. And I've put the link to Becky's channel in the description box below. I can't at the moment link to her vlog because both of our vlogs are timed to go out at exactly the same time. So you can watch one and then you can watch the other. But the link to Becky's channel will be there, and the minute I have the link to the vlog, I will add it to the description box. So thank you again ever so much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon.